I'm so excited to share this new necklace with you. It is wearable history, and I want to show you all of the portraits that it features. So it starts here with present-day Elizabeth, and it shows all of the British monarchs all the way down to George III, who was the king when the U.S. declared our independence. But let's go back up here. So you'll notice that Elizabeth starts out as a young girl there, and they've made a new coin with a new portrait as she ages through the years, and she is currently the longest reigning monarch. I believe she's reigned for 67 years as of the making of this video. Notice that in all of these portraits, she is right facing. And every time they get a new monarch, they have that person face a different direction. So you'll notice that her father faces left. This is King George VI, and he faces left. And you would think that right before him, this next coin is a portrait of King George V. And do you notice how these two guys face the same direction? Well, the reason for that is that in between them, there was another king who was Edward VIII, and he is that one guy who abdicated the throne because he wanted to marry a woman who was divorced. And he wasn't the king for even quite a year. So they didn't make any coins with him. Well, they did, but they were proof coins that never made it out into circulation. So that's why these two guys face the same direction. And then before George V, we have Edward VII. Who was the longest reigning monarch before Elizabeth. She reigned for 63 years, and I have 3 different coins of her at different ages. There she is as a younger girl, and you can see if you watched that PBS show about Victoria, she always had that hairstyle with the braids wrapping around her ear. I love the detail in that coin. And then here she is as an older woman, and she's wearing her classic veil. It's a black veil and a black dress because after her husband died, she never quite got over him and mourned him for the rest of her days, and she always wore black. So that's Victoria. Victoria took over. It was her, I believe this was her uncle, and that is William IV. And then before him was George IV. Which leads us down to this last and oldest coin on this necklace of George III, who is best known for going mad and for losing the American colonies. I was so excited to finally get this whole collection put together, that being the crowning jewel, that last coin there. And I have Victoria and Elizabeth represented with several coins since they were rulers for so much longer than everyone else. And it's this fun bib necklace that is really just a piece of wearable history and a very cool thing to talk about. And here's what it looks like around a neck on this bodice here. Don't you think it's kind of like old-fashioned, kind of vintagey, but also kind of rock and roll?